Okay, so the reason that we're doing the video today is because I've been putting this video off and putting this video off, and I was trying to find the right time to do it, and I just decided to just sit down in front of you and just begin to talk. Just begin to talk, and just let it out. If I don't do it now, I will never do it. So here we are. Okay. So this video is specifically about my marriage and why it ended. This is probably one of the, outside of the video that I did of my mom passing, this probably is going to be one of a very difficult video to make, but it's going to be even as honest as it's going to be. So it might be a little lengthy because I'm going to tell you about a lot of things in this video, and I'm going to be brutally honest, and I'm gonna tell you the real gutter truth from my perspective, what I did wrong in the marriage and what he did wrong in the marriage. I'm going to let you all know, and whatever I say, I hope it's a learning lesson for someone, and whatever I say can teach someone that you guys don't do the exact same thing that I did. Don't get married for the same reasons that I did. Just make better choices. So I hope this video helps somebody. So if you're interested in this video, and you make it to the end, no matter how lengthy it becomes, I want to thank you first. Thank you for my subscribers, old subscribers, new subscribers. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. We're working hard to get there. So thank you guys for your support. And yeah, so if you make it through this video, go grab some coffee, go get you some tea, sit down, get your food, and just let this play in the background, and listen to this tea that I'm about to serve. Okay, so if you're interested in this video, first give it a thumbs up, okay? And like, comment, share, and subscribe. I would love to talk to you guys in the comment section. If you guys been married or been divorced or finna get married and you have anything to ask me and want to talk about, it's a good time to do so, because I'll be very honest with you about my opinion when it comes to marriage. So give him most importantly, down below, hit the subscribe button. It's going to help this channel grow to where I think it can be, where I want it to be, and I can't grow it without you guys' support. So again, like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that subscribe button and notification bell, so when I drop a video, you'll be notified. Okay, so I'm done rambling. Let's get into this tea. Okay, so that lighting on the inside of the house was just really messing with me. So I decided to come outside and around the pool area and tell you what happened. Okay, so here we go. All right, so okay, guys, I had to change back locations. I just had to suck it up and come outside because the lighting on the inside of the house was just really messing with me. So I came back outside where I have better lighting. Okay, so I'm just gonna get right into this video. So I'm going to take you guys back to when me and Maurice first met each other. I'm sure we've talked about this in the question and answer video with husband and wife or whatever, but me and Mr. Reed met each other in 2005. I was 18, 19 years old. I moved out to Vegas and met him instantly. We started dating, had a child. Not immediately, but we had a child eventually, and that's baby Trey. So throughout the course of our long-standing relationship, it hasn't always been the best. It has been volatile. It has been rigged with anger, hatred, domestic violence. A lot has happened in that relationship. Infidelity, a whole lot, But the one thing I always had said during the relationship was I'm never going to be married to anybody other than him. Like, I didn't want to marry anybody if it wasn't him. So for years I wasn't really interested. When I moved on from my baby father, I had moved on from him. I just pretty much wiped the slate clean, started dating other people, realized that he's not the only man in the world that finds me attractive. He's not the only man in the world that I can be with and be happy with. And with him, I wasn't happy for a long time. I wasn't happy. And it was really funny when receive those messages on your Facebook from what happened on this day years ago. And I recently read some of the messages that I wrote on my Facebook, could be in 2014, could be in 2011. The same anger that I had towards him then for the stuff that he did then, the same validity that I wrote the stuff, is the same way I feel fast forward in 2021 of how he treated me then is the same way how he treated me now. And I gave him the benefit of the doubt when I got married to him. I was like, there is no way possible that a man who's this persistent to be with someone, because after this period of time, all these years, I have went on and dated other people, had sex with other people, lived with other people, was happy with other people. He never actually started, like, he never really, well, in my opinion, what I thought, he didn't really move on to anybody in particular because I never really seen him in a relationship outside of me. So anytime I came around, for a long time, I didn't really involve myself with him in that sense, like the closeness, having sex. The most I used to do was let him eat me out, sure, because he's the best at it. I probably still let him do that to this day because he'll still do it. But I never had sexual intercourse with him because if I did, the first thing he'll think is we were back together, and I didn't want him to think that. So I never gave him the idea that we were. The most we did, we used to go on vacations together, and I should have kept it this way. Should have gone on vacation with him, celebrate holidays, celebrate birthdays together. We'll go on massive vacations, and then he go his way, and then I go my way. That's the end of that. I learned how to deal with him because I put him in the category as my sister. It's not somebody that I really care for much, but I tolerated more than my sister because I had a child with him. My sister, she can kiss my ass, and she's what it is. She's over there, and I don't ever want her to be over here. So now, fast forward to this day, now I put him over there. I don't ever want to have to deal with him ever again. To me, they're two of a kind. There's his birthdays, and his birthday is the exact same day as mine, but he's the same. He, to me, is the male version of her. The same reason why I don't mess with my sister is turning out to be the same reason why I can't mess with him. So I should have kept it that way. I should have kept it separately like that and not involved myself with him in any kind of capacity. But I did anyway. Foolish me. So as I said, I should have kept it the way it was. But we end up start messing with each other again for my stupid self of dealing with Keenan. And Keenan was very controlling, I guess you could say, or possessive in the sense that if it had something to do with any man, he wasn't allowing me to like talk or even communicate with another man or have a relationships outside of him. The only person that he didn't like, but he knew he couldn't get rid of was my kid's father. That was the only one outside of him that he would be like, that's the only man I'm going to tolerate. So if you're going to have a relationship, you're going to have a relationship with him. So that's how I ended up kind of getting back with him. But in reality, I didn't really want to be with my baby father because I didn't respect him anymore. I didn't find him attractive anymore. I didn't feel that he can do anything for me at this point. He chased me down for so long. I didn't find it attractive anymore. I found it pathetic. So I was like, you can't. I used to always try to push him off on other women and be like, you need to find somebody else to date. Why don't you date somebody else? So this time when it came around, when he actually started out, I wasn't really all in with my baby father. I was just doing it just to pass time because of Keenan in that situation, that whole situation. So I wasn't in love with him or anything. I just did it just because. And which probably that was on me because I was playing with that man's emotions. So that part was on me. But I didn't make it clear that I was like, wasn't I clear? If the roles was reversed, I wouldn't allow that. I wouldn't have even stayed around for no shit like that. You're playing me, you have me, and you have him. You got this man ready to fight me, or what? You got this woman ready to fight me. Like it was a whole bunch of stuff, and I was awful during that time because I really wasn't in love with my baby father. I was only doing it to kill the hurt and the pain that I was going through with Keenan, and it was just a past time until Keenan was ready to choose me, and of course he never did. He stayed with his wife, but it opened up a terrible wound that I caused with my baby father. And I didn't care at the moment because I didn't really see it like as a long-term situation. We was going to last forever. So I really didn't really care about his feelings or anything like that because I was really lethal in that way. If I don't care about your feelings, I'll walk all over you, especially if you let me. I'm going to walk all over you. So then he actually really got sick and I had to actually take care of him in a sense. And when I had to take care of him, things took a turn, I guess. I had to actually take care of him, his health and all that stuff. So I still didn't really, wasn't 100% in a relationship. I just feel obligated to do so because every time he gets sick, he always expect me to be there and take care of him and all that stuff. So I did. Okay. That's how we kind of like started technically dating again. Then I stopped it. I ended up dating somebody else. That person proposed to me. And this is where it all began. That person proposed to me. And when he proposed to me, I told him no because I didn't want to. I always told my baby father, if I was going to marry somebody, I'm going to marry you. Why I'm going to marry you? Because you're the kid's father. Um, I want that family unit with you because you're Trey's father. I'm not anyone else's baby mama. And we had a pact that he's not going to marry anybody else. I'm not going to marry anybody. We're ready to take that step. I was always the last in my family to take that step because I just didn't want to. I didn't want to fail at it. I didn't want to hurt the other person. I wanted to be truly 100% committed. I wanted to be all in, you know what I mean? When I was ready to do it, I wanted to be happy like my sisters are, because my sisters are really happy in their marriages. And I wanted to be happy in mine and fulfilled in mine. But didn't turn out that way for me. Didn't turn out that way at all. So when I told him this, I was very honest. I'm like, somebody saw the value in me. They wanted me to be their wife. Now I can't even get that person on the phone because I told them no, because they really, really wanted to marry me. And I said no. And I could have totally probably been happy with that person. But I told him down because I said, I will only marry you. That was a dumb thing to do. So first thing never to do, promise somebody when you're young, baby father, whatever, I'm going to marry you. Don't promise anybody that, no bullshit like that, because then you feel obligated to have to do it, just like I felt obligated. And that was a dumb thing to do. Dumb thing. So never do that. So we goes on. We started dating for real, because I put pressure on him at this point. Like, this man actually was ready to put a ring on my finger. What are you going to do? Are you going to put a ring on my finger? I put pressure on him at the wrong time in his life because he was still messing with somebody else. He wasn't even over the person he was messing with. He was still dealing with somebody else. I found later on when he told me that the only reason why I married you was because the girl that I was dealing with, I found out she was messing with somebody else. So I married you to make her mad. And that person stayed a problem in this relationship through the entire time, even before we got married. She was a problem in it. Through the marriage, she was a problem in it. So he couldn't let that situation go. Even when he put a ring on my finger, said I do in front of my family and friends, said I do in front of his family and friends, he wasn't in the marriage from the beginning because his heart was completely somewhere else. He only did it because he was trying to get over the girl because she pissed him off because he was messing with somebody else. But I wasn't the person that man wanted at all. He just did it just to do it. So never just get married to piss somebody off. Never get married because you feel obligated or forced to. Never do that. If you're not 100% in with the person, if you're forcing a relationship, forcing a marriage, don't do that either because it's not going to work. So we fast forward, we together for a year, we're trying to make it work. I'm literally turning my brain to the idea of being married. I really am. I am watching everything about marriage videos, attorneys, divorce attorneys, counselors. I'm talking to married folks. I'm talking to my mom. I'm talking to pastors. I'm literally preparing myself for marriage because it may not be the person that I want to marry, but I am finna be married. So I'm going to give this marriage 110%, just like I do everything else, my career, being a mother and everything else. I'm going to give this marriage 110%. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Him, on the other hand, he's just going with the flow. He ain't trying to do nothing. The most he did, I give him credit. After we got married, we still going to counseling. But to me, that was probably the worst thing that we could have did. So the sun's going down, so I had to turn on this terrible lighting. This lighting is terrible around here. But anyway, So, so anyway, so we gets married. Very exciting. Even prior up to the marriage, I was having like serious doubt because we were still fighting about everything. We were somewhat happier prior to marriage. We were still fighting here and there, but it wasn't like after we got married. But we were fighting, but I was in a happier state pre-marriage. Like even though he was taking me through unnecessary stuff, like he was just doing unnecessary stuff and he was sneaking off and he was just doing a lot prior to the marriage. Like he really did. He crashed my car in December. He snuck off in like 5 a.m. in the morning, and my sister went off on him over the phone. Like, where the fuck you is at, you dumb mother? Why would you do your fucking wife to be like that? Like he wasn't there when me and my sister got into it in like September, August. Like I just needed him to go take me to get my car. He was too afraid to do so. Like he wasn't supportive in any kind of way. Like he just wasn't there. Like he just wasn't there. He was there physically, but when I needed him to step up, he wasn't there. Like ever. I was left to do a lot of stuff and handle a lot of stuff by myself and think for the family, do for the family, provide for the family, the whole nine. I did a lot in such a short time, and he was not there to assist in any way. And that was a major situation, a major problem in the marriage. So when we got married, I knew this is everything that he came with. He came with all of this. So Maurice have bipolar. So he's on quetiapine, mood stabilizers. He have seizures. He on fiamatamine or some kind of medication. He's on a few different things for his seizures. He's on something for bipolar. He's on something for what else is he taking? Oh, for his stomach, he have ulcers. He gotta go, the ulcer doctors to bleeds in his poop and memory issues and his vision and his health goes up and down. He go from a healthy weight to looking really skeletal and skinny, and he's just a lot all the time. And then his when he's going through a manic stage, he's very aggressive and he likes to fight and he likes to argue and he stresses you out. And he just come with a lot. And then I didn't know until after the marriage that he had a felony, so he couldn't work at certain places because of his felony. So he had to take a job. He was so used to working in Sony, he didn't have to care about his background or what's on it in California, because he's been so used to working at Sony for his entire life. He didn't have to, because it was his family runs the company, so he didn't have to do anything correctly. So now when they kicked him off of where he was working at, he had to come back to Vegas because he didn't have nowhere else to go. So here he come knocking on my doorstep because he needs someplace to go, because his family's not opening their door for him, but he comes to my doorstep because he needs someplace to go, so he can get himself better because he's falling out at work and all this stuff. He come to my doorstep. When something tragic happened to him, he just pops up at my house. I come home like, what are you doing? Where do you come from? He's in there washing dishes. I need to stay here for a couple of weeks. Why you ain't at your girlfriend's house? Why ain't your mom, your sister, your dad, your uncle? Why are you come all the way to Vegas to come to my house? I was his safety net. Anything that went on, he came right back to Regina's house. I was his safety net. Even though I didn't want him there, he would come right back to my house. So the most that he done, I knew he came with. So with the background situation and the felony, he was taking jobs, $9, $10. Now he didn't want to take that. He didn't want to take that because he first thought his friend works for a company, a security company out here, making like $25-$30 an hour or something like that. And he thought his friend was going to do what they did to him in California and just slide him into the job, and he was going to be making that kind of money again. And he learned real quickly that his friend wasn't doing shit for him. So then he started having to actually okay, I actually have to get out here and work because my friend's not going to do, what he said he's going to do. And I'm going to have to go find a job that's actually going to pay me, less money. It took him a while to humble himself and actually take a job that was like $10, $11 an hour. And I had to tell him, I took jobs that was $19 an hour because I have kids to feed. I have kids to feed, and I've never had that, not had a responsibility to not have kids to feed. I'm like, I've always had the bulk of the load. You've been able to live your life, whatever that may look like, in and out of state, living in hotels, not having to have to get a car, not having to get a home, not having to get anything because your job paid for your lifestyle. You should have a truckload of money by now. A truckload of money. You didn't save any of it. Where did all this money go? You didn't have nowhere to put it because you was living in hotels all across the country. How did he blow all his money? I don't have no clue. Couldn't tell you where that man money went. Couldn't tell you. He couldn't say it was child support. I get $100 a week from that man. You make $2,000, $3,000 a week. Where's the rest of it? He should have had a truckload of money. He blew it. So he was irresponsible with money. You know, his drug habit, his weed habit was huge at one point in time. He couldn't keep a car. He had like 3 cars and got them all repossessed. Couldn't keep nothing in no place in his name. He got evicted from everything. Like he was just irresponsible to the utmost. So I knew what everything, and I lived that life one time with him in California, and said I would never put my life in his hands again because he cannot handle having, being the head of a household. He wants the title, but not the responsibility of it all. So all that responsibility was on me, all of it. So I had the food stamps every now and then. I put food in the house. When they took the food stamps away because they said I'm make too much money, that was coming out of my check. I bought food every dang on week because I work 2 jobs. I get paid every week. Every dang on week I was putting $100 food into the house. He had electric, which was like $100. Internet was like $90. Our rent was almost $1,600. I didn't even know it was $1,600. I just delegated the rules to him. Hey, go pay this, go pay that, go pay this, go pay that. I need you to run this errand. I need you to go grocery shop. I need you to do this. Because I had the majority of the work hours. Like I was doing all the work. I need you to do all the other stuff to make it lighter on me. Because I can't do all this stuff. But if you're at home on these days while I'm working, you go ahead and run these errands. So I didn't even know what we were paying until recently when I had to pay it myself. So I told him to pretty much do everything. He did it. When he crashed my other car, I had just finished paying that car off. Paid it off in full. I had it a month and he crashed it. So I had to go get the new other car that I have now. So I'm paying this car off. I don't want another car, nope. My last car, he ruined the doors. He ruined so much stuff on that car. I got that car, he ruined the blinker. He said, I'm going to get the blinker fixed. I knew that was a lie. I have a broken blinker. I'm like, how do you break a blinker? What are you in there doing that you break a blinker? So now you have to drive with it all. You drive, you hit a bump, it comes down, it's blinking like crazy. Like when I'm driving my own car, it doesn't mess up. When he's behind my wheel, it messes up. He doesn't do that with anybody else's car because he don't respect my stuff. He get out and slams the door, try to break stuff, kick the doors. He ain't gonna do that to nobody else's stuff because he don't respect my stuff. He was driving women around in my car while I'm working, while I'm telling him to go delegate, like business, do this, do that. He's out there driving, going to see his ex-girlfriends in my car, picking up women that he met soliciting on Craigslist, finding women that he met here, there, and everywhere, picking them up in my car, not telling them that he's a married man. He hid that. On Mother's Day, I'm asking him, I called him early in the morning, can you put my picture on your Instagram? Because he cuts me out of every picture he have. We was in Disney World in April, whole family vacation, taking a whole pictures. The only picture he put up was about him and his son, Trey. And then he put up with him, his son, and my son. Why are you cutting me out of the family photos? Like, why am I not in it? Who are you hiding me from? The only people that knew he was married was the people that was at his wedding. Nobody else on his timeline, on his social medias. He refused to say that he was married on his social media. Why did he say it in a counseling session? Because he felt if he told a woman, they're not gonna want to deal with him because he said he's married. Me and the counselor looked at him like, are you trying to get with the woman? Because that's the only time you would care that you tell somebody that you're married. If somebody doesn't want to deal with you, the only time that would matter to you is if you're trying to get in there, if you're trying to get to know them on another kind of level. And he didn't understand it at all. Like, no. What are you talking about? If a man doesn't want to deal with me because I'm married, then so the hell what? I'm married. That lets me know I needed to be with somebody who's proud to have me on his arm. He wasn't proud that he had me on his arm. He it seemed like he was ashamed because he sure didn't want to. He didn't want to tell nobody. He didn't want to talk about it. Nothing. He was ashamed that I was his wife, and that hurt like a mug. And the only reason why, I don't know why he would be ashamed. Like, I don't know why he would be ashamed. Because I elevated your life. I took care of you. Like, why would you be ashamed? I'm not an ugly person. Do you think so? I'm not an ugly person. I know I'm not an ugly person. I'm like, half the stuff that you have is because of me. I'm like, you had a truck because of me. I made you take it away because you was having seizures in it. So you want to kill yourself? I was doing extra, getting off at 5, 6 o'clock, going to the gym, picking you up from work at 11. What wife does that? Pick you up at 12. I'm getting a little sleep because I got to be right back up in the morning at 5 a.m. to get back on the phones, to go back to work, to do 16 hours a day. I'm killing myself. I'm gaining weight because I'm stressed out. Can't go to the gym to work out. Doing everything to accommodate you, to make sure you have ways home. And all you're doing is creeping around on your wife. I'm like, I'm doing all this extra work. I'm asking him simple stuff. Can you keep the house clean? Can you make sure the kids are fed? Don't cause me any extra problems, because I'm doing bulk of everything. And it was like, he didn't give a shit about any of that. He didn't give a shit about any of it. He still expected me, no matter what he did, to still give him the benefits of being a husband, access to my vagina, and access to my vehicle and everything else. When you disrespecting my car by putting women in it, that's not your wife. That's not even your car. You're not even paying for it. You barely even put gas in it. You're not taking it to go get the oil change. You're not doing any of that. That's all me. You ain't do anything extra to help me to relieve any of the stress. You see the oil light on, you tell me the oil light on. You're not even man enough to go to the Jiffy Lube and get the oil change. I got to do that. If I had a house, guess what? I'd probably been out there mowing the line, because he won't even do that. It was a lot, and I took it all. And my brother obviously said, "Don't talk about your marriage to anybody." So I was dying inside. On my Instagram, I looked very happy to people. Oh my God, you look so happy in these pictures. Your marriage must be going so well. Only if they knew my marriage was a disaster from I do. Hold on.